term with the crowd chanting. Here's Wally Foreman.
Big crowd and a very vocal crowd as Newman does battle with Irving. It's socket forward for East Fremantle to half forward. Lawrence, who started on the interchange bench with a run of the ball, was overrun by Grant but not by Brad Collard. Chance now for South to clear as Herneman kicks around the boundary line. Matera's hand pass has gone astray. Lester Smith gets it to Lawrence, back towards full forward, and Condon takes the mark. Condon is 35 metres out from goal. He'll kick from about 45.
Good mark.
He had best position and he had a decided height advantage over Cliff Collard. He's on a reasonably acute angle, but the breeze is blowing from his left to right. Spinks is up off the bench, walking around the boundary line. As Condon lines up for the kick, that would have tied the scores, but it's gone, didn't have the distance. Another chance for Lockyer with brute strength. He tries to wrestle the ball out of the pack, and it's gone over the goal line for a minor score. East Fremantle looking for their first premiership since 1985 when they were successful under Ron Alexander. Souths haven't won the flag since 1980 when they were successful under Malcolm Brown, their current coach. The ball to the outer side of the ground and a mark awarded to Quill.
Peter Quill.
Well, here we see, once again, the umpire's paid the man in front, and he did pay that earlier on in the game, and there was a little bit of a dispute about it, Trevor, but...
We've mentioned to our regional viewers, he's done some good things at times today, Peter Quill. He's a beautiful exponent of the drop punt. He sets it up into the square. Grant at the back, can't mark. Hines feeds the hand pass into the pocket. Lester Smith dangerous, he's slung, and Morandi kicks it out of bounds on the full. It was touched, luckily for him. They're enjoying the game. Freezing cold day here at Subiaco Oval.
They would have remembered the 45 Derby Grand Final, I think, Trev.
So do you. Lockyer's caught. Herneman overruns it. Lawrence and Herneman wrestle for it. Condon's there. Got a kick into that. Puts it to the top of the square. Dunstan knocks it forward into the path of Lockyer. He's held. No free kick. Ooh. Atkins pushes it out. Atkins again off the ground. And it lands with Firmino fortuitously. And he goes on with a hand pass over the top to Flutie, who can't control it. He keeps it in now, though, Walt.
Fortunately for him and for Souths, it would have been a bad mistake. The kick to centre wing. Hepburn was the target. Williams has the ball. Puts it out in front of Malaxis and Clementi. Hepburn's injured now. Oh, that will be a serious blow to Souths. They are sadly depleted already. Let's see. Oh, ran right into Crummel's hip. Williams' kick is a shocker. That makes life difficult for Campbell. He keeps the ball in front of him. He did well. Puts it out of play. Moss was with him. Where's Hepburn? Is he up?
He's okay, I think, Walt. It's sore.
Well, he had a huge third quarter, Mark Hepburn, particularly in front of goals. Contests the throw in. Clementi with pace. Drives towards goal. It won't be a goal. Browning is there with Edwards. It's been a tough day for Craig Edwards. He's on report. Jumping into Lester Smith's back after he'd taken a mark. And as yet, he hasn't kicked a goal.
And Browning's done an excellent job there in the last line of defence.
One of the many changes that Ken Judge sprang on Souths at the start of the game. The full forward going to full back. Edwards has the ball pulled off his boot by Newman. As we said earlier in the game, what a success story Ian Newman's been this season. Plucked from country football. And he's been the mainstay of the East Fremantle ruck throughout. Browning is up, thumps it towards the boundary line. Souths come from everywhere. It's scooped towards the line. Firmino is there for Souths. He's pulled off the ball. Nichols with a hurried kick. Chopped off by Hepburn. He in turn was claimed by Amoranti. Irving swept it back towards the centre line and Nichols gets it over the line as Spinks warms up and is about to come back into the game for the first time since when, the first quarter, was it?
Halfway through the first quarter. Yeah. This is a big gamble because he doesn't look all that special to me.
Very wobbly indeed. Irving earns the front spot there, but he had to work hard in front of Condon. And he's earned the free kick, Dean Irving. We saw Irving give away a kick to Condon in front of goals in the third term.
Well, it's wounded for wounded anyway with South.
That's a good mark too to Hines in a pack of Sharks. Cliff Collard drifting down the ground, receives the hand pass. He's looking for Campbell. Campbell's there in front, brings the ball to the ground, worried out of it by Mosto. Coming through again is Hepburn. Now it's Campbell, overruns it, socket forward by Hepburn. Malaxos, great courage, Steve Malaxos. He's caught high, and he'll take the free kick for the Sharks.
He's been in the thick of everything today, Trevor. His work rate's been that high. He's been a real inspiration to his team.
He kicks to the members' wing. East Fremantle will mark through Newman.
That'll be his first mark for the game, I think, if I remember right.
He's done most of his work in the ruck and won a lot of taps, though. Wobbly kick to centre-half forward. Davidson in front. Knocked away by Grant. Pushed out by Collard. Fumble there by South Fremantle. Cracker slid into that high tackle. Might be a bit lucky. He slid right into this. He's got the kick, 60 metres out. Torpedo's a beauty. It won't reach. Desperate lunge there by Condon. And out of bounds. Cracker. A couple of goals to his credit today. South hanging on here.
They lead by 5 points. 7 minutes gone in the final quarter. Hines tried to knock it away. Matera's in there. Condon has it. Lockyer. This is Davidson. Jeff Davidson to Nichols. Nichols back on goal. It's pretty close. Couldn't see the goal umpire's right arm then. I wasn't sure if he'd signalled a goal or a behind.
And he won't win up well.
It's a behind. 4 points is the margin. I was just thinking, you know, Steve Malaxis may well have played against Warren Campbell's father.
He would have done. I think Steve was playing in 1980.
Yeah. So this is Ian Newman. Now East Fremantle starting to launch perhaps the first serious challenge to South's lead.
I'd suggest that Ian Newman would nearly kick this, nearly score from there. He's a very good kick.
Well, Hepburn's kicked goals from further out than that. He's got under it. It will land at the top of the square. The leaper in front was Condon. Souths try and tie it up at the top of the square. It comes to Amirante. There's the goal that puts East Fremantle in front. East Fremantle are 8-18. Souths are 9-10. 8 minutes gone in the final term.
Well, Emirante's been a backman most of the day and most of his career. But here he's drifted down with his own players. South were trying to tie it up. They didn't want to let it go out because they had somewhere positive to go. Finally, they got rid of it, only to Amirante, and he was able to snap a good goal, much to the desperation of the South defence, who two players claimed they touched it, but they're the rules. That's what you try and do when you're a defender. But South are really looking down the gun barrel at this stage.
Irving and Newman go at it. Irving brings it down. Firmino tackle and dumped by Condon. Ball jars out. Vilsic and Quill. Vilsic lets it go for Quill, who hooks up towards full forward. Lockyer leads Atkins in the race. He gets out of a tackle and then fires a flat punt towards the goal. Grant is there in front of Davidson. Now Collard heads for the boundary. A little bit of experience there from Cliff Collard. But South are under enormous pressure here, Noel.
Yes, they are. It's been hard to score goals down the other end, and now that they're behind, they've got to make all that leeway up, and it's very hard from here.
Scoop out by Collard to Matera, who turns into trouble. Anderson snaps. It's into the pocket and carries the line. So a free kick to be taken by the Bulldogs. Atkins in the very last line. It's 2 points the difference in favour of the Sharks.
And all players look a little tired. Some of the zing's gone out of their legs, and
the zang.
Yeah, and they're working very hard now.
It's a good kick by Atkins into the wind. He gets it outside 50 metres. Irving up to get it to the front of the pack. Collins was pulled off it. Hines trapped it with his legs. That was Brad Collard crashing through. Irving off the ground. Gives Herneman a chance. He's shown great courage this afternoon. He kicks the ball up towards half forward, and Williams takes the mark. No play on is the call.
He's had his hands on the ball a lot and been able to spill a lot of marks.
George McAlgic watching the footy.
Throwing it right half forward for South Fremantle. They trail by 2 points. They're really going to have to pull something out of the fire to win this game. They're working into a very stiff southeasterly wind in very cold conditions. Quill takes Malaxis's hand pass and kicks back towards centre wing, and the ball has gone out of play on the full. So it will be a free kick to Souths. There you see the wind to be taken by Collins, who's had a fairly tough afternoon. He gets good carry with the kick up to half forward. Reed spoils from behind. Play allowed to go on. Hepburn was looking for the kick. It's tied up at half forward for Souths. East Fremantle beaten grand finalists in 1986. Souths since they last won it, lost in 81 to Claremont by 15 points and in 1989 to Claremont by 67 points. Players on their half-forward line. They're in grave danger of losing this one too unless they can find something special. Hurried kick from Bilsich, goes to half-forward. Hines charges at it. The ball ricochets towards the centre circle. Clementi uses his feet well but got an unkind bounce. That allowed Cracker into the contest and there'll be a bounce almost in the centre circle.
We've played 11 minutes. South trying to get that goal they need so desperately to put them back in front. Nothing separating the teams at the moment, but East Fremantle, you'd be happy if it took 7-4 this morning at the moment. Malaxa scrambles through the pack, kicks to full forward. Lester Smith has it knocked away by Collard. Atkins at the back. Hand passes out wide. Collins got a good bounce. Hand passes upfield. Dunstan knocks it into the path of Collins. He hand passes in front of his body. Pushed out of the way by Lockyer. Picked up by Quill. Quill has a look. Kicks to the pocket. Condon knocked away by Irving, who follows it up and boots it out of the danger zone. Back to the half-back line, and the mark taken by Fremantle. He's got support. This is Herneman from the middle. A good kick to full forward. Big pack up. Hepburn was there. Campbell on the loose ball. Campbell, he's dangerous from 40. Couldn't bring it back enough. 1 point the difference. We saw a draw in the reserves grand final, and in extra time, the Bulldogs beat Claremont. So that was the foundations for this very exciting grand final. Anderson's out there on his own. 10 metres in the clear. Kicks to the wing and finds Quill. Now this is good football by the Sharks. It's dangerous. A positive build-up. Atkins got tangled up with his teammate, but Brad Collard recovered. Tackled by Davidson. Now Flugie avoided the trip from Lawrence. This is Irving. Irving goes long towards centre-half forward. Hepburn into the pack. Can't mark. Campbell. He's got it. Moss tackles. He got his kick in. But Browning's in front of Edwards. Can't control it cleanly. Back goes Browning and pushes to the boundary.
That's Campbell.
It's Campbell down hurt behind play. Gee, he's just got to get up. The throw-in's going to take place at right full forward for Souths. Campbell is on his feet in the hands of the trainers. He just has to play on. Edwards in there in front position. Chance for Nichols to tidy up at the back. In comes Browning. We'll have a bounce, I would think, at right full forward for Souths.
Temperature's dropped to 11 degrees, while in case you're interested.
That's Capewell.
You've got your woolly underpants on, Will.
It's cold, isn't it? Bounce down, favoured Edwards, who knocks it back into the field of play. Matera ran onto it. Collard crashes through. Hand pass has gone astray. And East Fremantle clear through Moss. It goes back to half-back. Taken brilliantly off hands by Nichols. He kicks to half-forward. This is a quick transference of play. Souths can't afford to be caught napping. Grant comes across. Lawrence has it. Cracker went without it. Collard's able to tie it up. Ooh.
Well, that was bad play from Craig Edwards, knocking that ball with the breeze, knocking it towards East Fremantle's way. You must always go your own way, especially in that situation. And East Fremantle were able to pounce on the ball, and with two good kicks were right down into their attacking zone.
East Fremantle lead by a point. 13-14 minutes gone in the final quarter of the grand final. Collard knocks it towards the boundary. It's taken by Flugie. He did that superbly. Got around Quill and puts it back to centre wing. Play on is the call. Taken by Bilsich for East Fremantle. Back it goes to half forward. Chance at the back now for South to tidy up. Collins kicks towards the centre of the ground. Clementi, and he'll have some run. He looks towards the half-forward line where Williams is out in front of Amirandi. Williams trapped that cleverly. He's still got the ball in front of him. He strikes Amirandi, goes towards goal. He was offline, or he is offline, and he was off balance, was what I was trying to say.
And he was off away from Amirandi, wasn't it? We've seen his pace, and we've seen also that I see some pace in Nichols' legs too. So obviously he's really lifted his ratings as well. But that was a great chase by Amirandi, but wasn't good enough to run young Russell Williams down.
Capewell back on. Lawrence is off. Browning puts it back into play. Newman in the pack, punched away by Hines. Newman too tall there. Got it away towards Bilsich, who thumps to the members' wing, and Capewell has it knocked away by Collins. Flugie overruns it, so does Nichols. Matera's turned into a brick wall. The ball being held to him, according to the umpire.
Some of the South runners starting to get away a little, Trevor. It's the first time I've seen them for quite some while, being able to get that small break on their opposition.
Scores are level. We've played 15 minutes. What a grand final. Clementi's there trying to wrestle it away from his opponent, Bilsich. That's how cold it is. I told you it was cold here. You didn't believe me, did you, Will?
He'd line up in the Rally Australia, couldn't he?
That might have been Ayrton Senna. Hines, Newman beats him. Gives it to Cracker at close quarters. Crummell, that was nicely done. Down to Malaxis. Here's danger for the Bulldogs. Davidson has it fisted away by Grant. Condon's got it. Lester Smith, the danger man, runs away from Atkins and puts it through. The Sharks have some breathing space. They lead by one straight kick.
Yes, great play there by Fremantle. You can see Condon was in a good position. He couldn't mark, but he was able to recover. But this man's the man that's kept him really going all day. Steve Malaxis pumping the ball forward again. Good work there by Condon. Had the good insight there. Neil Lester Smith had run away from his opponent and was able to kick an easy bread and butter goal. One of the trademark goals of Neil Lester Smith, and he's given his side a 6-point buffer.
9-18 to 9-12, each Fremantle lead. We're 16 minutes into the final quarter. Malaxis trying to get it going again, but it's taken away by Dunstan. Sends it ahead of Williams. Williams with Amirandi. That must be a free kick, surely.
Oh, umpire.
Oh, gee, jumped right into Williams' back. As East Fremantle make another change, Treleaven goes on, and I think it's Crummell who's come off. Boundary throw in just outside South's 50-metre line. Williams, I think, can consider himself a little unlucky as Reid goes over the top. Chance for South to tie it up. It spills to Quill, however. He gets a hurried kick back towards the half-back line. Condon went early. It's knocked on by Amirandi. Gives East Fremantle a run of the ball, and they make about 20 or 30 metres with a socket kick towards half-forward. Oh, it's a doer struggle now. It will be the survival of the fittest.
Brownie was angry at quarter time about the umpiring. I don't think that would have done anything for his adrenaline, would it?
It's not likely to have changed his opinion, is it? Condon in front. Condon from behind Hines. Down towards half forward. Collard back on Lester Smith. Malcolm Brown down on the boundary line in the coach's dugout. Condon and Atkins. Knocked forward by Cliff Collard, but taken by Nichols. It lands with Lester Smith again. Back towards goal he goes. Oh, don't tell me! He can go kickless for an entire game and come out and win it for you. He has kicked two of the most crucial goals in the game so far. Neil Lester Smith. And East Fremantle suddenly lead by 12 points.
Well, good work there again by Condon. Trent Nichols able to squeeze that ball out. Lester Smith from 50 metres. Oh, he's a dangerous player around the goals, and especially if, when the East Fremantle side get a run on, he's always there to finish it off. A very, very dangerous player. He's had quite a good game, but he hasn't been the dominant player that he's been throughout the season, but two very, very handy and telling goals.
Newman wins the tap. Clementi sharks it, they're out of the middle. Thumps it to an open forward line. Hepburn has it knocked away by Reid. Williams feeds Flugie from 60 metres. He kicks towards the top of the square. Spinks is there. Great mark, Browning.
Oh, that's tremendous play. He followed Craig Edwards up on the lead, then had the audacity to run back and take the mark as well.
Malaxis kicks it out of the danger zone. Newman misses it. Sharks are out there in number, though. Quill boots it up to half forward. Lester Smith and Collins are out there. Lester Smith keeps it in. Now he's got to chase it, but it beats him over.
Well, the problems are for South is they take so much energy and effort and craftsmanship to work that ball into that breeze, and then it comes out, rebounds, and comes out so easily. And that's the crying shame for their midfielders, because the big fellas up forward can't lock the ball in there.
Condon working hard. Collard at ground level gets it to Herneman. He gets it to Collard somehow. He kicks to the middle of the ground. Reid in front of Hepburn. Hand passes away. Good work, Clementi. Pace from Cracker. Fimino's with him though. Fimino working hard at ground level now. Squirts it out. Clementi controlling the ball brilliantly from the middle. Kicks the centre half forward. Campbell and Moss. Moss almost a mark. Edwards went crashing through. Browning. Running into him was Dunstan.
Great
got
play,
it away. And Quill's got the footy. And the Sharks are in control again. The kick to half forward. Collard's there, so is Cracker. Lester Smith at the back. Tackle. Ball squirts out. But he was tackled. No, he pushed it out, scooped it out. And the free kick going to Cliffy Collard of the Bulldogs.
Short kick is taken by Flugie. Souths have to get another goal quickly if they're to have any chance. Slips through Hepburn's fingers. Reid goes across. Close to the line. Throwing it right half forward for Souths. East Fremantle are 10-18. Souths are 9-12. Gee, they're sitting pretty close to one another. Perhaps they didn't know each other. Chance at the back of the pack for Bilsich. Hepburn goes in and ties it up. It comes out to Matera. Matera gets it further afield to Dunstan. Dunstan shoots from about 45 metres. They need a goal. And they've got it behind. Well, it just won't go South's way at the moment. They've still got time, but they just haven't got any cohesion in their forward line. Edwards has been superbly held by Browning today. He must be a contender for the Simpson medal, as I would think Steve Malaxis is. They've been the players that have held East Fremantle in this game during the tougher times, or its tougher moments. And now Browning from full-back will get it as far out as he can. He missed kicks, landed with Malaxis, spilled off his chest, and the umpire will bounce it down almost on the 50-metre line.
Well, he called play on there because both the East Fremantle players had their hands on it.
Chance for Fimino, South's captain. Capewell wrestling with him. We'll have a bounce in the same position. Well, it's been a relentless struggle throughout this afternoon. East Fremantle led by 20 points at half-time, but that was the only time that either team has really been on top. Nichols, and he'll be happy to see it go out. The throw-in is at left half forward for Souths. It's a long time since a player from either of these clubs won the Simpson medal. Morris Rioli won it in 1981, and before that, the best effort for Souths was Brian Sikatosto, or the most recent medalist before that was Brian Sikatosto in 1970. For East Fremantle, Kevin Taylor was successful in 1979. Gary Gibellini in 1974. Throwing it left half forward for South. Simpson medals will be the furthest thing from these players' minds at the moment as they try and claim the Premiership Cup. Bilsich unloads to half forward for East Fremantle. Trelevin is there and it's forced out by Collins.
Time's running out for the Bulldogs as Trelevin comes on. Some fresh legs for the Sharks. Malcolm Brown hasn't got that opportunity. He's only got 17 men out there as it is at the moment, 17 fit men. Matera to Brad Collard from the point of the square. The kick to the wing. Dunstan up one hand. Capewell off hands to Fimino, who's tackled. Loses it. Malaxis soccers it. Bilsich won't mind that going out.
Fimino wanted to use the ball there, Trevor, instead of kicking on the finals football, move the ball on quickly. He was looking to do something polished with it rather than just pushing it forward for South.
Newman has played his heart out for the Sharks, wrestles with Hines. Bilsich gets it to Anderson, who gets it to Nichols, who off the ground made about 10 metres, but Lester Smith couldn't control it. He was under pressure. And now Flugie boots it to half forward. Hepburn up from behind Reid. Saves his best football for the last quarters, as he did last week. He was murdered in the third quarter by Hepburn. Certainly come back in this last term. Now Hepburn does the ruck work with Newman. Fimino. Matera keeps it in. No, he couldn't control it. And South look a bit tired now, Noel.
Well, they've been chasing for the long part of the day, and they're still trying to play this game right out. But I think the time might be sneaking up on them at this stage.
Newman over the top that time. It comes off hands to Nichols, who thumps it long. Going back, Condon. Oh, great mark.
That could be.
No, he just run into. He's run into Irving's knee.
It was accidental, but the way he hit his head on his leg, I thought he could have been.
Courageous mark, wasn't it?
Oh, gee.
Would you think a headache could stop you from taking this kick at this time of the stage of the game, Molly?
Well, it would stop me, I must say, no. To answer truthfully.
Obviously, you've never been in a position like this and played in a grand final, but I'm sure that Lester Smith will direct him in the right way anyway.
You're not having a go at my little mate, are you? Condon lines up. This will be the sealer if he boots it. We're about to go into time on from 40 metres. It's offline. Lockyer will fly, but it carries him, and one behind the result. So it's back to 2 goals, and that's going to be hard to do for South.
Especially into the breeze. I mean, it's been very, very hard, and goals have been at a premium into the breeze, so well, it's a hard ask.
Pollard puts it back. Newman will thump it back. He's hurt too, Ian Newman. Is it Newman?
Yes, it is Newman. Just put under a bit of pressure there by Marty Atkins. Well, the problem was Brad Collard was kicking out and he didn't make as much distance as the normal fullback would have done, and the ball's dropped short. South haven't worked that out yet this far into the game, that the ball's going to drop short when you kick it into the breeze.
So Newman to shoot on goal from just on 50 metres here. Generally a pretty reliable kick. South lead by, the Sharks lead by 2 goals. Newman from 50, drop punch straight as a gun barrel. The Sharks will win the grand final of 92 in one of the biggest boilovers of the season.
What a
the Bulldogs were 9-4 on to win this grand final today, and the Sharks have upended them, and it really has been a memorable match.
Well, it has been. It's been a memorable match because it's been well thought out by Ken Judge. The matchups, the way that East Fremantle players have stuck to their task, and that's a great job by Ian Newman there to kick that goal. He's worked tirelessly in the ruck, not only today, but right throughout the season. He's played a lone hand in the ruck and done such a wonderful job.
18 points is the margin now as Fremantle gets the kick towards the half-forward line for South. Malaxa sprint back with courage. Reid has it. This is Quill. Quill towards the wing. Williams not favoured by the bounce. I thought he would have been. It bounces over Treleven's head and Brad Collard's. Williams first back to it. East Fremantle able to tie it up. Amaranti hooks it into half-forward and Condon takes the mark.
Will he be within kicking distance from there?
Well, it's all going East Fremantle's way now. And the rest of this game is academic. Something of a missed kick, and Condon was best placed to capitalise on it. There's Ken Judge. He's pretty relaxed about it all now. Interesting that East Fremantle's last 2 premiership coaches both came from East Perth. It's good for them to have a homegrown one. As Condon doesn't quite get onto this kick, it lands in the square, off the ground from Lester Smith, and eventually it rolls into the post. That's the behind post, so we're going to have a boundary throw in at left full forward for East Fremantle. Souths haven't kicked a goal in the final quarter. As the rucks assemble, Irving is there, across the top of Lockyer, who took clean possession. Matera has it. He's worked hard this afternoon, but missed kicks, or didn't get the clearance he needed. Taken by Malaxis, who chips it to centre half forward, and Nichols takes the mark. Trent Nichols will shoot on goal from just outside 50 metres.
It's ironic that he's taken the shot for goal, because it was really Trent Nichols last week against East Perth, him and Newman in that last quarter, that really got East Fremantle to the position they are today. And it'd be fitting that if he could kick a goal here, but on the 29-minute mark of the last quarter.
The applause for Ken Judge as he comes down the grandstand steps. Nichols lines up. It's a good kick. It's a terrific kick. And they are jubilant at centre half.
There's the siren.
Oh, there's the siren. It's all over.
It's a 5-2.
East Fremantle have won the premiership. East Fremantle have defeated South Fremantle. The final score 12-19-91 to South's 9-13, 67, and the margin 24 points in favour of East Fremantle.